Welcome back everyone to another Bitcoin update, and in today's video we're just going to be kind of going over pretty much the same thing that we've been talking about for the last couple of days. Not really too much has really changed since we've seen this decline on the Bitcoin chart, and so far we haven't really had much that has happened since last updates video, so we'll kind of just keep the same thing, go over some liquidity, and then as you know we are now 24 hours, maybe it's a little more, a little less, away from the ceasefire expiring between the US and Iran war, and we should get a possible catalyst depending whether war continues or if a peace deal is done. Otherwise, if an extended ceasefire does come, I could see a possible maybe extension, maybe even a higher high, and maybe that will be a catalyst to send the market higher, but that could also be negative news and maybe the market reacts negatively to that. Otherwise, there could be a completely different scenario that plays out, but we'll kind of have to wait and see what will happen for that. Yeah, same scenario that we've been tracking. Overall, this could be a larger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up in a first wave. We could be in a larger second wave move down, which could occur in an A, B, C pattern, in which we could get one more low. Otherwise, technically, this could be all of a 1, 2, 3. This could be a fourth wave pullback. We could get another high and not even go into this support zone and get a fifth wave move up. There's a few different ways that this could play out. That's just kind of why we have our support and resistance. Once we kind of break above resistance in the swing high and we get some impulsive price action, well, it could be very likely that was just a fourth wave correction. Now we're going higher in a fifth wave, and if that is the case, then we'll kind of have to change our scenario, or not scenario, but kind of change our roadmap for it. But also keep in mind that if we do just go higher from here, steam can definitely run out sooner and we don't get a good reset in the market, in which we could not go as high in this rally if we go lower, compared to if we do have a nice cool off, then we have a nice deal for the US-Iran war, and then we really get a nice impulsive rally. That would be obviously best case scenario for bulls, but obviously nothing's ever guaranteed. Otherwise, this could turn into a larger degree. All of this could be an A wave, and then we get a B wave down, and then a larger C wave up. That's always a possibility as well. Way too early to kind of talk about those scenarios. We'll kind of have to wait and see how we react to support and resistance. But at the moment, we're kind of deciding whether this was a first wave, then we get a second wave pullback, and a third wave up, fourth wave, and a fifth wave, or if all of this was a 3-wave move up, now we're getting our fourth wave pullback, and then we're going to be going higher in a fifth wave. So scenario kind of remains the same. Obviously, once we break below resistance, or sorry, support, then it could very well be a possibility that the B wave, larger B wave, has already topped, and now we're going to be going lower. But way too early to tell. We kind of have to wait and see what will happen with this US-Iran war as well, because that will be definitely a catalyst event for what will happen. So on the 1 hour chart, we did have a bearish divergence here, so not really surprising to see this price fall afterwards as well. On the daily, we are still within the neutral territory. We said, you know, it would look best if we get another low for a 1-2 setup. Then we go higher, but we form a lower high on the RSI to create that daily divergence. That would definitely be an indicator just to add weight to all of this just being a larger corrective bounce before going lower, because I have seen people think that we are back in the bull market, and I mean that very well could be the case. Obviously you just never know, but there's just no real sign or indicator that is showing that we are. This is just from how long this has been, just with just how choppy it's been up and down. I mean, this is what a bear market corrective rally typically is before we go lower, where we kind of trend upwards before going lower, trend upwards before going lower. Now there will kind of come a point where if we go to the last bear market on the daily, there will kind of come a point where once you kind of trend higher, and then you go lower, there will kind of come a point where you finally reach a low, then you just kind of go sideways, people accumulate, and then the cycle kind of restarts. Now, it's really early to tell, but what if we just what if all this is a larger A wave, then next market we just get a larger B wave, 3-wave move, and maybe we get a new all-time high, but maybe it's not like what people are thinking 200,000, 150 or higher. Maybe we just retest some of these highs up here, or maybe go a little bit higher, and then we go lower. So that's always a possible scenario as well, and something to kind of think about. But yeah, 4 hour, we are still within the neutral territory as well, and we kind of did have, like, I guess, a trending down RSI overall, which you can kind of see as the price is going up. I mean, we were breaking highs obviously over here, but overall, if you kind of look at it, it is kind of sort of trending down in a way. And yeah, that's just kind of something interesting to think about. So if we head over to the liquidity on the 30-day, we really do have more longs compared to shorts. Kind of seems like more and more longs have started to enter since the price has started dropping. Maybe more and more people are expecting a bullish turnout, but overall we have a little more than double compared to shorts. But obviously you do have these large short piles that have been accumulating as well. And on the 7-day, it just kind of goes to show we are really compressed between two different liquidity zones. We have this one here that goes to about 80,000, 76 to about 80,000 for a large zone right here. And then you have this back here at 75,000 to about 71,000. So we're really compressed between two liquidity zones. And yeah, market is more than likely, they could be pressing up for a larger move as well. If we go to the weekly, I just shared this on Twitter and, or I guess, X. On the 1 week, we're really between two zones. This upper zone at 80, about 76 to about 80,000, and then you have this lower zone at 74 to about 71,000. And on the 2 week, if you expand it a little bit more, it's kind of the same story that we are seeing on that chart as well. You have this zone up here that goes to about 80,000, and then you have all this smaller liquidity below. That 70 to 71.5 is that smaller zone, and then you have this larger zone here around that 69 to 70,000 range. So definitely geared up for a possible big move, but you know, maybe we just go sideways for a couple more days. You just never know. If we go to the funding rate, funding rate has started going, we're still within the neutral for funding rate. If I know it's negative, but a lot of people, what I see is they'll go on really short time frames and then they'll show a really negative funding rate. But if you kind of zoom out, you just kind of realize, hey, this is, yeah, negative here, but overall at the point that we were, if you kind of compare it to price action that we have seen typically, when other than these two large catalysts and these three, you can kind of see a point where once it kind of starts going down, you just kind of get to a just neutral sentiment. So although we are super large over here, now that we're started to cool off a little bit, we're kind of heading towards that neutral environment again. And on the open interest, still just kind of going sideways, trending a little bit more towards the up since we've had this corrective rally here. But yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see what will play out. So overall, over the next 24 hours, what can we expect? Well, first things first, we're going to see what happens with this US-Iran deal. In my opinion, I really do think whatever happens, that will definitely indicate whether we go up or down in the short term. If we get a no deal and war continues, I don't see us really breaking below this support zone, honestly. I do see a sell-off, and then once the market kind of gets used to the war again, like how we were over here, we won't be as much affected by it, and maybe we can try again in another rally up. If we do break below support, it's always possible that we do come back down here, find support, and then try again for a rally. But if we do get positive news, then we can definitely expect a breakthrough resistance and maybe head towards that liquidity area above. So basically in short, if we get a deal or some sort of good news, maybe, obviously not guaranteed, we come up to liquidate this area here, and then maybe for a shorter time, maybe we kind of trend upwards like we were here, where we got really good news and we just kind of trend upwards for a few days before we kind of come back to sideways and market decides what we want to do again. So maybe we get good news, go up, trend up, and then we kind of hit a point of going sideways and market decides what we want to do there. Otherwise, if we do get a no deal war continues, then we could definitely expect liquidity to be hit below in this area, where we will come down to support, maybe go sideways, figure out what the market wants to do again if we do get a 1-2 setup, and then we can possibly go higher as well. So that's always a possibility, but otherwise, if ceasefire gets extended or maybe something else happens, maybe we just continue to go between support and resistance. So we'll kind of just have to wait and see what will happen with this deal. So yeah, thanks for watching. We will see you next time.